Hello, welcome to my little workshop. I am Doug. Hello, welcome. I have got to do an unboxing of this. This little baby, in a lot of ways, has started it all. It's been around forever. I remember being a child seeing this thing around in the back of magazines and such. Could never afford it. Back then, it was Jesus. It was like $400 or $500. It was like $1,000 back in the day, for real. And then I think it may have even had a different name. For some reason, I want to say it was called an Emily's Garden, but I'm probably wrong on that. But anyway, long story short, this is a ebb and flow hydroponic garden. I always wanted one. I could never afford it. And because of this, I got into homemaking, DIYing hydroponic systems and got pretty good at it. I could whip up a hydroponic system out of pretty much anything laying around. And it was pretty much because I could never afford this, so I became very proficient at all types of hydroponic system building. I had come across this on Amazon, and it was almost $200, and I hemmed and hawed, and I didn't do it. And I saw it maybe a week ago for $140, and I grabbed it. I'm like, you know what? Boom, took it. So I did a little research, and oddly, and I don't know how this is even possible, but the one for $180 does not come with clay pebbles, and this one supposedly does. I don't know. It's heavy. It feels like there's clay pebbles in there, but we'll see. So this will come supposedly with like the pump and the timer, the planters with the holes in them, the tray with the overflow tube and the fill tube and a reservoir pump. You can build this. Now, if you have an aquarium background, you'll already have a leg up and you'll have a good head start and you'll know what I'm talking about. But all these pumps are aquarium pumps for aquariums, and they are very inexpensive. They're like, $20 for a pretty good one. And this, not the air pump that pumps the bubbles into an aquarium, but what they would call a power head, which would create current. You could set it to make waves, or you can just have it act as a constant flow. You can put a sponge filter on it and turn it into a filter. You can put it on top of other filters, and what it's called is a power head, and it's just a little water pump, and it's very inexpensive. But yeah, this is an ebb and flow, so there's going to be a timer, and every so often this timer is going to go off, fill up, and then re-drain out the upper tray feeding the root systems. And you'll set the timer. You don't want the roots to dry out, and you don't want to drown them. So my experience has been around every 20 minutes. Now, some people do it like only twice a day. I was doing it every 20 minutes. And you can also set the duration for how long it keeps going. You really don't have to have it going very long, maybe a minute or two. I think I had like 3 minutes. But let's unbox this. I am excited. It's been sitting here for a few days, and it just got wet because it rained so hard. My basement flooded, so the box is soaking wet. So we're going to unbox the baby right away. I have been trying to make some cutting boards. I'm going to do a video about it. End grain cutting boards, pretty interesting. But yeah, homemaking hydroponics is it's easy, it's fun, it's cheap. And I was just using everything I get my hands on. Old coffee cans work good. Cut a hole in the lid. Put your little net pot right in there. This does have the expanded clay, that's why it was so heavy. Okay, I have another bag of these in the garage. Yep. That is a pretty big bag, really. I think those go for about $35. You can get them on sale for $20, but So it does have 15 net pot type slotted planters. These are kind of not anything special. These are so easy to make yourself. I was using a soldering iron and just taking regular ones and just burning 1,000 holes in them with a soldering iron and saving myself from having to buy these. I can tell you right now, right off the bat, you will never get a whole bunch, at least if you're going to grow weed. You're not going to be able to get more than like 4 plants in this thing. It came with 15 planters. I wouldn't suggest doing more than 2 or 3 in here. They're just going to crowd each other and not be healthy, successful plants. If you're putting the time into doing it, you're going to want your plants to be as healthy as possible. And crowding them is not going to help that. So I would never use all of them unless you were doing a different type of what they call the sea green, where you throw them in the flower immediately when they're still just babies. Then you may be able to use all these. But if you're going to go for a full-size mature plant, just use 1 or 2, maybe 3. I would not go any more than that. Here is the water pump, submergible water pump. These are really inexpensive. I just bought 2 that are much better than this for my own homemade stuff. The 2 of them were $25 and they were 660 gallon per hour, where this one is 650 liters per hour, which is far less than the gallons. Yeah, that is not much. That is like 100 and something gallons maybe, compared to those that are 600. But you don't need a massive one. You don't want it too high either, because it's just going to be spraying the water everywhere and you'll end up having to try and dial it down anyhow. 1 pump. This I don't know what's in here. Sub-assembly, just as Mega Garden. Sub-assembly. And it's Rockwell cubes, which I am on the fence with. I'm not so sure about Rockwell. People say that my buddy's been having a lot of trouble with this rotting his stems out right where they are in the middle of the Rockwell. His stems are rotting out right there, and he have to cut it away. Here is the drain and fill tubes, which you could buy on their own for $5 on Amazon. I just bought maybe 5 or 6 sets of these, all different brands, just to see which ones are better, because some are adjustable, some are not. Some come with different size tube adapters for all different size hoses. What else is in here? pH test kit, a viewing tube window, and some grommets and such. The grommets, yeah, 15 planters, which is excessive, but if you were going to do herbs or veggies or something that isn't so root intensive and so big, like pod. Oh, and a timer. So I was surprised it just did come with a timer. This, I don't know how to set. This must be the type that you can, 15-minute intervals. Okay, a lot of these dial types, in order to have it going off multiple times a day, you need a whole bunch of the little, I don't know what they're, little tabs that actually physically kick on and off the button. This is electronic, and I believe you just push in. So 15-minute intervals, that'll work. That'll work, because I usually do every 20 minutes or so. So another big reason that got me to want this are these plastic trays are so expensive. So I use totes and tubs and all that for a reservoir, but the top tray to buy, they are ridiculously just hundreds and hundreds, sometimes $200-300. I don't understand why. So this whole kit was cheaper than just a tray of this caliber. The whole kit was cheaper than just this. If you went on Amazon or whatever and Googled, hydroponic trays, you'll see what I'm talking about. they are like a couple $100, and God knows why. I really don't know why. So that's the top tray. And that's where these will end up going. So to build your own, you end up having to drill these holes. Not this big one, but these 2 little holes, which is a piece of cake. The hole saw, whatever the case may be, I think it was like 1.25 inches or something. It's like a $2 hole saw for plastic or PVC. I've never had one of these leak. And even if it did leak, it's only going to leak back into the reservoir, so it wouldn't really matter. But I have never had one leak in all the maybe dozen times I've used these homemade. Whoa. I don't know what that is. So one will be the fill and one will be the drain. And the one will keep this from overflowing. So if your pump malfunctions, keeps running and running and running all day and night, it's not going to overflow. It's only going to get as high as this and return to the reservoir. So that's kind of the idea with this, like an overflow tube. And it is just a little plastic nut, rubber grommet washer thingy. Very, very, very simple. I wonder if it goes all the way through. You know, these are punched out and they're not the best fit right off the bat. Yeah, I'll have to force this through, which hopefully doesn't crack anything. It's an extremely tight fit. I'm gonna have to use both hands and like ram it through there and try and thread it in. I'm gonna be extra careful. I may even sand it back a little because it's too tight. It is too tight. It's not punched out all that great. I do want a tight fit, but yep. So you'll assemble both of these, which are generally super easy. In this case, you're just gonna have to ram it through. Just put this on the bottom. I could pause it, I guess, and try. I'm not even sure what this is for. Interesting. Okay. 1/2-inch diameter black tube. That must be, oh no. What is that for? They're not showing that big piece of PVC. I don't know what that's for. Maybe I should read this. Yeah, they're not showing support column. Okay. It says the rounded, place the support column over the rounded center bottom portion of the reservoir. And they're showing this fitting in this round little button. This isn't, oh, this in this part. It's like a stand to keep, it's like a little support column, I guess. Charlotte pipe, that's funny. I was wrong, it goes in the reservoir. Grommet, elbow, viewing drain, that's all for the reservoir. I'm not sure what this is. Grommet, alright. Let's see if we can get that at least. We're doing okay frame-wise. Now, grommets are always a tight fit, but this thing's stamped out so terribly. This may go. Or not. Yeah, these are always a tight fit. Rubber grommet. So this is going to be like a level reading. I imagine it's in all the way. This will be a potential leak spot. If it's going to leak, it'll be right here. But okay, the viewing window is in. I should just do it. It's going to take some probably kicking and swearing and what I don't want to do is shatter the plastic pushing too hard. It's too tight. It's too tight. It feels like it's going to break the plastic. Like this is just a hair bigger than it should be, it seems. But the thread's already getting damaged as I'm pushing super hard. So I'll have to kind of while this out just a little bit. Yep, I'm already kind of bashing in the threads, trying to force it in there. Bummer, it's a 3/4. But it has the other sizes, I think, with it. 1/2 inch. But I'm going to pause it and try and do something. It's a shame we have to do this every now and then. Like fix shoddy manufacturing. Let's have like a little drum sander for a drum sander. I'm going to try this first, see how that goes. In fact, maybe there's a bigger one that'll fit a little better. Going around in a circle as I'm doing it. I don't, just a real little, just take off a real little if you do this. And some bullshit, we should not be having to do this, but it happens. It does happen a lot with things coming out of China and overseas. It's going to need a little bit more than that. That may have been enough. Boy, it just feels like it's going to break. I'm just going to go a little bit more. It's close. My luck, I'll break the thing. I just don't want to do that. Put this like on a drill or something and probably work good too, but do not want to overdo it. Overdoing it'd be the worst thing you could do. Don't breathe it in. I damaged the threads. We'll see if this still works. It does. And I get it, they want it to be a tight fit, but this is not the strongest plastic to be pushing, having to use that amount of force. It completely started to push these threads right in. This was about to shatter. Took some force, even after sanding it open, wallowing her out a bit. Okay, nice and tight. And even if these leak, they're only going to leak into the reservoir, no big deal. These are usually adjustable. This one does not appear to be. It's preset. Yep, this will keep it from overflowing. Alright, that's set up pretty much. What about this? Okay. I don't know what this really... This must be the return drain. I think these little... One of these go in there. Or not. Maybe not. I thought it said it did. One of those has to go in there. Yeah, figure D. There's two of them. Just like those, it's a real tight ass fit. Like, never gonna fit tight. Okay, almost broke it. I would almost say this is not gonna stick. Alright, that's that. Now the pump. So this pump looks like it'll give you the option of hooking an air line up to it to add oxygen. It's not showing that being used. It's just showing this with the black tube hooked up. Yep, piece of cake, and I bet that's gonna go to the bottom. It didn't show it, but no, it didn't. Okay. That's it. This thing for extra support so it doesn't cave in if it gets too heavy. I can't tell why. Which way is it supposed to go? I'm not sure. I don't think it matters. It's square, right? Yeah, it's only sitting up a little bit because of this. I'm only going to put maybe 2. But if you're going to do like a sea of green method, it'd be good. There should be a little notch somewhere for the power cable, and there is not. I've always had to do that, just like a notch, so the cable doesn't get pinched. There it is. But fill her up. Yep, that's the notch. Viewing window. Yeah, we'll fill her up and work on the timer. But yeah, it goes together real easy. The old Mega Garden. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.